right, you made it to the last video. Congratulations. This is video 5 in my little mini series where I'm walking you through how to dial in the reverbs in the HX Stomp. Now, like I said in the other videos, don't worry if you haven't seen them yet. You don't have to watch them in any particular order. Just after this video, you can click the link in the description to the playlist marked HX Stomp reverbs. Now, if you've been tracking with me through this series, you know we've covered the Glitz reverb, the Ganymede, Searchlights, and the amazing Plateau reverb. But today I'm excited because we're gonna be diving into what has been called the most usable reverb of the 5. We're talking about the double tank reverb. Now, this is a modulated plate type reverb. I had a Supermoon pedal by Mr. Black on my pedal board for years, and this double tank is very similar to that, and we'll get to that soon. But first, let's talk about the basics of this mini series. First, when designing these reverbs, we're not going to get into parallel paths. I plan to make more videos about that in the near future, but my goal for this series was how good can we make these reverbs sound just by dragging and dropping them in? Second, we're going to be using our 3-step process to shape our tones. First, we're going to see what this reverb does, what makes it special. Second, we're going to pull out everything. We're going to tame it, pull it down all the parameters so that we can do step number 3 and pull back what we need for each sound that we're trying to create. Now, I've been giving you 3 sounds per reverb in this series. I've been giving you a rhythm tone, a lead tone, and an ambient tone, and today's no different, so let's jump in. All right, as always, we have a Fender style amp with a dual cab. Now, you can get these over on the Hey Worship Leader store. You can click the link in the description. Also, there's a code on the screen. If there is, you can use it if the code hasn't run out yet to get 25% off. I also have an overdrive in here. It is the Timmy type overdrive. And so let's drag in our reverb stereo double tank. Let's hear what it sounds like right out of the box. Ooh, very, very modulated. It's got a really long tail, and you can definitely hear the modulation in there. So our first step is to see what makes this special, and right off, I think it's just the rate and modulation here. Everything else is pretty standard. We have a low cut, high cut, pre-delay. So let's just max out this rate and modulation. Let's max out the mix, bring down the decay so we can hear the full range of what this reverb can do. Let's bring up the decay so we can... Swirling. Notice the rate doesn't flutter. I'm glad it's not that fast. Let's pull it down. A lot slower. That gets crazy. All right, let's take everything out like we do. Bring the mix down to 50. Modulation out. Let's just go ahead and bring the decay down to see how much reverb is still there. That's already a good sounding room reverb right there. If we wanted to warm it up, we could bring the high cut out. Also, yeah. Let's bring that low cut back. The low cut doesn't seem to be getting in the way of anything. Let's bring the high cut back. I like it a lot warmer than that for a room reverb. Now let's bring the decay up a little bit. Bring the pre-delay up. I like bringing the pre-delay up because it gives it that slap-back feel, especially on a rhythm type reverb. Makes the room feel a little bit bigger without adding a lot of decay. Let's just bring the modulation all the way in. Usually when it's a rhythm tone, especially if you keep the rate down, just gives it a little, you can't really even tell the difference. Just gives it a little movement. That's pretty good. I might would back the mix down a little bit just because. That's what I like in a rhythm reverb. Let's put the trails on. We will save this to foot switch 2. Save our work, and I think we're good. Let's go ahead and do our lead tone. Let's bring in another double barrel. Double tank, double barrel. I had a JHS double barrel. I don't know how many times I may have already said double barrel in this video, but double tank is what we're talking about. So, as always with a lead tone, we want to bring the decay up, not super high, but let's leave it about where it is. We want the pre-delay up. Let's just bring it all the way up. We could bring this modulation in a little bit more. We'll bring the mix in a little bit more. As far as the low cut, maybe bring it up so we don't have a lot of this lower end getting in the way, but the high cut, we want this to shine through. We want it to stick out in a mix. Let's go ahead and turn our trails on. Assign this to foot switch 3. Save our work so far. This is what we got. Let me turn the other one off. Let's get a good rhythm sound. You can hear it waving in there, but I think that's a pretty good lead tone already. Let's hear the rhythm again. I might want to bring up the decay because it seemed kind of dry. Maybe bring up the mix a little bit. How I would use this if I was using back to back, I would have my rhythm tone like it is. I'd play rhythm. Let's bring the decay down a little bit. It's a little in the way. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. Is that a good rhythm tone and then a good lead tone? I would use it. Sounds pretty good to me. Let's go ahead now and work on our ambient stuff. I'm going to do an ambient finger picking tone and then an ambient swells. We'll set those up differently. Let's do that now. We'll bring in a fresh reverb, work from scratch. Not plateau. Double tank. So with an ambient tone that we're going to finger pick, we want the decay up high. We also want the pre-delay up high because we're going to be picking notes and we want those notes. We want to hear those notes. We don't want to get them. We don't want them to get lost in the trails of the reverb. Let's turn the rate up high, but the modulation down low. The mix up at 50. Sometimes I like to go above that depending on the reverb itself. Let's see what we got. Turn the overdrive off. That sounds good. I like that swelling in there. It's a little too fast. I'm going to bring down the rate. I think the amount is good. pre-delay is up too much. Let's put that down. It's too much of a delay. That sounds pretty good. Let's bring more of that modulation in, just to see how crazy we can get it. I get seasick. That's too much. I would never use that. If you bring it down to about there, let's just pull that down a little bit more. 100, that's a good even number. Let's do that. I like that way it is, but let's bring the decay down so you can do a little. All right, that is a good ambient tone. Now for some swells. This will be similar, but a little different. We want to crank the delay up, the decay up, keep the pre-delay all the way off like it is. Let's move the rate up, modulation, let's make it a little thicker, keep the mix at 50, and let's take the high cut up, turn the trails on, assign it to foot switch 3, push save. Let's see what we got. Okay, that is way too much modulation. Yeah, we're gonna want to bring that a lot down. Let's just say 5%. I like that. It has movement. That sounds pretty good. I think maybe taking this high cut back down might make it a little warmer, especially if you were to put some overdrive and have a different pickup. That sounds pretty good. I like that. Let's push save on that. All right, what'd you think? This one was a little more straightforward. There wasn't anything too special, had modulation in it. I like modulation. It tended to get a little crazy, but it's exactly like the Supermoon pedal I used to have before. I used to just put, it was called a sway knob, and I would just put that in a little bit. And I think when we dialed these in, just putting in a little bit of that modulation just to give it some movement, some motion really helps. Other than that, it was pretty straightforward, very usable. If you're looking for a reverb to go to out of these 5, I would definitely suggest this one. This was definitely a fun series to do. I definitely plan to do more stuff like this in the future, talking about more in-depth things and different paths and different tricks you can do to get your reverb to sound amazing. If you're interested in that, hang around, push subscribe. If you like this video, if you like this whole series, hit all the like buttons. Share this video with people that you think it would be helpful with. There's tons of people out there who are just now getting these units and are wondering how to dial in all this stuff. So feel free to share this if you think it was helpful. I would really appreciate it. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram at HeyWorshipLeader. I post pictures of gear and talk with people over there. I also am communicating more and more on the YouTube community page. So look for more communication from me over there as well. Thank you all for subscribing. Have a good day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.